variation. This is the one that people tend to struggle the most with here, is the indirect variation stuff, okay? Now, we're showing the proportional, the constant of indirect variation, k this time. It's a constant of indirect variation this time. But k is x times y, whereas in direct variation, it's x divided by y, depending on how it's worded. But indirect variation means one group will go up while another corresponding value goes down. Indirect variation happens, I like to think of gas, not like, food you eat, but like gas, right? Like as you drive more, the more you drive, the less gas you have in your tank. That's an inverse or indirect variation. As one goes up, the other one goes down. Or the longer you spend at a grocery store, the less money you'll have in your account. That sounds good. Whatever, all right? Just examples, just throwing those out there. So indirect variation does exist, but it, we can kind of formulate it like this as well. If that doesn't make sense, it doesn't have to. What we usually do is they're going to give us x and y values that correspond to each other. We find the k, and then we find usually it's a y value that's in there. But again, this is kind of the formula part that we're looking at when we get to joint variation, because it's going to join a direct variation with an indirect variation. But indirect variation is the division part of that. Y varies inversely as x. If x equals 2, then y equals 3, right? So on this one, again, we know the k is going to be equal to x times y. And on this one, we got a pair of x and y, right? That's a ordered pair. So the x is 2, and the y is 3. That's just 2 times 3, which is 6. So we know that our constant of indirect variation is 6. But then it says solve for y when x is 7. Okay, well, we know just from the formula, right? Even that it's just k equals x times y, we can formulate this into y equals it'd be k divided by x, which we saw on the last slide. So y should be the same as the k divided by the x, and we have an x value. Well, you could put the k value in first, by the way, but we got the x value at 7 right there, and we got a k value that is just 6. In my heart, I really want to just leave this as a fraction, but from what I remember on the assignment, it accepts both the fraction and the decimal. I rounded the decimal though. 6 divided by 7. Enter. Yeah, you could use, if you wanted to, the fraction or the decimal. 0.857142857. That's all my calculator shows me, and I believe I rounded it to the nearest thousandth, 10,000. But oh, okay, yeah, thank you. So yeah, if it wants you to round, it will tell you either way, I guess.